Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
We're back. It's
Yeah.
October.
Another month, another episode.
So I hope everyone's doing well, especially our peeps in Florida. We saw most of the people we know posting, so we're happy about that. And Disney's reopened today. Today we're recording on Friday. And I guess they had to evacuate some animals, and they had to they're
really?
all safely back in their habitats. So, well, obviously the animal kingdom and whatever you call it, but yeah. So that was scary. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing all right. I know there's some controversy that it was reported that a lot of cast members weren't allowed to go home early as a hurricane approached.
Because
so.
it was still open until like October 10th afternoon or something.
Yeah.
Like 2 p.m. It didn't close till 2 p.m. the day before or the
before.
day of the hurricane.
Yeah, I
October
don't know. I mean, I don't want to say too much on it because I don't know
10th. Yeah, I
like,
don't know the details.
but that's pretty. I mean, because it happened with another company for the previous hurricane, and some people died. You know?
Really?
Yeah, I guess it was on the roads going home. Like they said that you
Yeah.
had to stay,
Until whatever time.
and then they tried to go home, and then they got flooded out on the roads.
Yeesh.
Stuff. So, but then the CEO made this stupid statement, was like, "Well, nobody died on property. I just want to make that clear." I'm like,
Well, if it wasn't for them
I
having to
know.
drive home.
yeah. So, so yeah, it's natural disasters are really bad. I mean, I had, for my work, we don't actually have offices in Florida, but we have, I have clinics that are under me in North Carolina, and they got hit, with the previous
The previous.
one. And then we do have people who work remotely who live in Florida, so they're okay. But yeah, well, at least the ones who I've been in contact with. But they said the worst case scenario was avoided, which is good. But it's kind of what I'm telling people. This isn't the last storm. This is not going to get better because the ocean waters are just heating up. Hot water is what powers hurricanes. It's not a political statement. It's what it is. I mean, that's just science. You can debate on what you think causes climate change or whatever, but they were saying like, oh, this is a once in a generation storm. I'm like, you hope.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Wasn't there was a storm last year that was like a once in a generation storm, and then San Diego's never had hurricanes. We had our first one, I think it was at the beginning of the year, right? Either last year or the beginning of this year. It didn't end up being much, but the fact that we had one is not good. So I think people are going to have to kind of just adapt to the new. But it's scary because it's in Florida. It's most of the state is built on marshlands already. So water and then there's all this other stuff that's going on in Florida with like crazy HOA fees going out, like 2,000, like HOA fees that just jumped to like $2,000 because of the reassessments that were done. And then there's like a lot of, I don't know if you remember, it was like a year or two ago where that apartment complex collapsed in Florida.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that was built in like the 50s and 60s, kind of like the golden days of Florida, the pink flamingo days, and they apparently were never up to code, or they were up to code at a certain point, but with all the erosion and mass wasting that's done with all the water that's been, all the hurricanes over the years, and other hurricanes are getting worse. Now that some of these foundations and some people are like, they're losing their investments. So it's just kind of, I don't know. I think the state's going to have to step in and do something because it's like in California, we have, it's not quite that bad, but we have insurance companies pulling out of California because of fires.
Yeah.
And the state had to step in and make its own program. But now in certain areas, if you want fire insurance, it's like
your insurance goes up 5 times of what it was if you go through the California insurance.
But at least fire insurance is something you pay once a year. It's not HOA fees going up that to $2,000-$3,000. So I'm not saying that can't happen here, but it's just there's going to be a lot of changes in the future. It's going to affect Florida. It's going to affect even inland states, landlocked states that have a lot of communities on riverbeds.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect them. So we're gonna have to.
That's what I call global warming, not Florida warming.
Well, it's
because it affects everything.
Yeah.
The whole globe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, at least the worst case scenario. But there was over a dozen people who did pass away, unfortunately. So thoughts out to their families. All right. We are going to continue try to bring you some smiles, even though that this was a rough week for a lot of people. A rough couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We got a new giveaway that we're going to be giving away, and I don't even know because I didn't even know what the last one. And somebody corrected me. I just called it the Black Pack.
It's the D Disneyland
Black Collection or something.
D Collection. Because it has the letter D for Disneyland.
Yeah, but everything has the letter D on it.
Yeah, but nothing has just the letter.
Okay.
So it's I think I even looked it up. It was
so the last time we gave the full-size backpack. So this time we already gave away kind of our Halloween thing, which was the Mickey Mouse Halloween coffin, the Count Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted people to have that before Halloween.
Yeah.
But we still needed to give away for this month, and so then we said we'll see what we would want at the parks, and we didn't want to give it. We really liked that collection, even though I can never remember the name. But
it's called the D Logo Crossbody.
Yeah, and so
Disneyland D Logo.
So, but this time, we didn't want to give away another backpack, the same thing,
mm-hmm.
but we like the crossbody, but it's not the same value. It's not that costs as much as the full. So we threw in the coin purse.
Yes, it's the crossbody and the coin purse. So
for those of you who saw the teaser that we put up, that's actually 2 things.
Yeah.
Even though it clips to the other, we clipped it to the other thing.
Yeah.
So it's a crossbody of the D. I'm just going to call it the D collection.
Yeah.
And coin purse, which is sold separately, but you get both.
Coin charm, I guess. It's a charm. You can hook it onto whatever.
Yeah, I always think of charms as being tiny. That thing's kind of big.
Yeah, they're called charms now, because charm just means you can hook it on whatever. Now they have the giant charms.
Oh,
like
really?
This.
You know
the people who stood in line?
Oh, yeah.
Lula Boo Boo or whatever it's called. Whatever it's called. It's like people stand in line 2 a.m. the night before to get their hands on it.
Yeah.
It's like a big plush. That's a charm.
Well, all you have to do, and this particular giveaway ends November 9th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's a Saturday. We'll be doing the drawing on November 10th. And all you have to do is direct message us the answer to this question via Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. And for every medium you use, you get an additional entry. What's your unpopular opinion on any Disney food? So if you have an unpopular opinion on any Disney food item or restaurant or anything food related to Disney, let us know. The winner will be drawn at random, and you must be 18 years or older and live in the United States.
Yep.
All right. So hopefully you guys like this giveaway. We actually purchased it in the park, and we haven't done an episode since. Like these monthly episodes are pretty cool because it's like we're always about to go to the park, and then we can tell you about what happened the last time we went to the park. So we always do the episodes in between.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our last trip.
Our last trip, we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. I think it's our last stay at the Disneyland Hotel for the year, for 2024.
Yeah.
The other stays will be at Pixar. Not our last day on property for 2024, but last day at Disneyland Hotel. And then we got another magical upgrade. So I checked in.
And Hannah it probably bugs her that we like always shout her out and say, "Hey, Hannah got us another upgrade," because she didn't technically get us the upgrade.
Yeah.
So hopefully anyone who's listening or sees our stories, like they're not saying, "Hey, hook us up."
Yeah, she keeps saying it's not me, it's you, and we keep saying it's not us, it's you.
Yeah, because we stayed on property before we knew you, and we never got upgraded. Yeah. We've been upgraded 3 times since we started using her.
Well, we have stayed more frequently now.
But we stayed before. We got married there. We did all these things there since. Because you got to figure. We stayed at property multiple times, like years.
It used to be only.
Yeah, but it was years.
Twice a year.
Yeah, but for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Not one upgrade. Meet Hannah. 3 upgrades so far. 1 year. Yep. 3 out of 5. So, but yeah.
I'm hoping it's because they keep seeing my name and
maybe
thinking, oh, it's them again.
They could have some secret system.
It's the Peep and Brinks. Since there's no point system or anything like Marriott, so
that we know of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they keep sending me these surveys to fill out. It's like,
give them all positive reviews.
Yeah. Even though it's supposed to be anonymous.
I know.
But anyways, yes, we got to upgrade. And, well, at first they didn't tell us. This time when I checked in, she kept looking at the room number or something at her screen, like squinting her eyes.
What was her name? Helena?
Haley?
Haley.
No. Was it Haley?
Yeah.
She kept looking at the screen and squinting her eyes. She's like, wait, oh. And then she's like, oh, that's a nice room. You got a corner room with a balcony. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, she didn't say like last time because she's helped us before. Last time she's like, oh, looks like you got a magical upgrade. And that's what Rex said to us the time before that. But this time she was just like, oh. And then I was like, oh, okay. Is that good or bad? Yeah, when we got
the Pixel Suite, Rex didn't say that.
Yeah, he just said you got a magical upgrade.
We're like, okay.
And I was like, all right, that just means a view of the pool.
Yeah.
You know?
That's typically what, in most hotels, what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what we got last time.
Which is still like $75 more. So it's like, so it's not like we're taking that for granted,
Yeah, the time before it was her, and she did say you got a magical upgrade, and it was the pool view. It was a premium view.
Right.
So I was like, oh, cool. And then this time she's like, oh. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, let's just see what we get. So we go upstairs, and then it was kind of weird because it was a room that had a door outside of it, and you have to go put your key in the door.
Like the suite rooms, yeah.
Yeah, to the double doors, and then you go through the double doors. It's another tiny hallway with 2 doors.
Yeah.
And one is
and
the
those
other.
are usually in older hotels or really nice hotels where you have like party suites.
Yeah.
It's like a party suite thing.
So then one door was ours, and we went in, and we're like, whoa, it is a bigger, because it had like a couch with a little living space type of thing, and you could see
it had
our
a
video.
living room.
And then, the balcony, outside balcony, you go out there and it's full, like had patio chairs.
You could probably fit 10 people on the balcony.
Yeah, and then you get the view of kind of downtown Disney, and then, that side of downtown Disney.
But if you look across, it's right towards the Matterhorn, so you get full view of the fireworks.
Yeah.
So, and the cool thing is that the entire room was windows. Mm-hmm. So...
Because it's corner.
Yeah, it's a corner, but it's like you could be in a corner room and still have a walled off.
Yeah.
All the walls were windows except for the back wall.
Yeah, so you had like a corner view of everything.
It's like a 180 view of the outside,
So, it was really nice. So we thought, we'll just stay here for fireworks.
We're going to take advantage of this.
Better than the Sky Lounge or whatever that is.
Yeah.
We've never done that because we're like, well, why would we sit there? I mean, it costs just as much because it's like 90-something per person for the Sky Lounge, but then you get like a lunchbox meal. Mm-hmm. But you get to go in and out and like free sodas and snacks, which is like chips and Coke. And then you watch the fireworks but fireworks aren't guaranteed every night or that night, right? So this is better than the Sky Lounge because you get to drink alcohol and you're in your room, so you can take off your shoes. Mm-hmm. And then
it's like it's like a box seating at an arena.
Yeah.
Because you're outside and it's enclosed and you have your own space.
Yeah. So we decided to stay in and order room service so we could watch fireworks.
Which is dumb, by the way. Room service is like, and I guess sometimes I just get caught up in a moment and I just do dumb things, and it's
But
just
like I said, it costs just as much as getting that Sky Lounge thing, and
Yeah,
you don't
I
even
mean,
get
if
a
you've-
full meal.
if you justify it like that, I guess, yeah. But room service is just expensive. But we should have just walked down and got food.
I know. You just got a corn dog.
I know. It's like, it's not like we're not retired yet. You know, it was just, with the money I spent on that, we could have bought more
But the food we
giveaways and
got
stuff.
were like ribs, and we'll talk about it on
Yeah,
Taste
we'll
Talk,
talk about it on
but-
Taste Talk. I'm not saying that the food was bad. I'm just saying the price not
Yeah, yeah.
worth it. But
But we stayed in our room and had drinks while the fireworks were on. And the cool thing about the fireworks there is you can hear the music because Downtown Disney plays the same music
they're playing it like
in the speakers at Downtown
yeah,
Disney.
but it's right under you.
Yeah, it's right under us, so we could hear all the music during
Mm-hmm.
the fireworks. So we heard Oogie Boogie because it was Halloween fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
So we heard everything and went with the music.
Yep.
The only thing we didn't see were the projections on Main Street
Yeah, that's
Which
the
is
only
fine,
thing that was
because
missing.
you would have gotten the same view at Sky Lounge.
But we had a better view of the fireworks than people on Main Street because they had to look
Yeah.
straight up. We're just
Yeah.
looking across.
Yeah,
So
we didn't have to be in a crowded area. And
no, it was that room. I mean, and the reason we shot out Hannah because I mean that's actual money.
Mhm.
Because if we were actually just to book those rooms and pay for the upgrades we're getting, like that was probably an extra $200. You know, at least.
Probably more, yeah.
I mean, that room is nice.
Well, it's not even listed. It says you have to call.
Oh, for that room?
Yeah.
Okay, so
price
that's
isn't
more than
even
that.
listed.
Just like the Pixel Suite, you can't
Yeah.
book it. You have to call.
Yeah.
So probably more than that.
Mhm.
And then that's why she probably was gasping. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's an extra 500. I don't know. I 1,000 would be ridiculous, but who knows? It's Disney. And then the Pixel Suite was probably was an extra $1,500. You know. So yeah, it's like the upgrades are actually getting free money.
Mhm.
You know, because we definitely wouldn't be paying for that on our own.
Mhm.
So yes, we do have a travel princess, and we just want you to know that. So, but yeah, we'll be at the parks tomorrow, and tomorrow
We'll let
be
you
at
know
Pixar.
if we get an upgrade. Just kidding.
Yeah, we don't expect it. It's
I
just
know,
it's
it's
just
like
a
if
nice
it's
thing to
there,
talk
it's
about.
cool.
Yeah. What else did we do while we were at the parks? I mean, it was kind of a chill day. We didn't.
Well, we did more stuff at night because we stayed in the room the most of the time.
And I think that's what we typically have been doing
Uh-huh.
this year because we stayed on property more. I'm not going to stay on property as much next year because we just found out our little cousin Adrian's getting married in Hawaii.
Mhm.
So that's a chunk of money that we're going to definitely
Mhm.
want to spend, but it is takes away from the vacation budget a little bit. And then there's like, you know,
There's our 10-year anniversary.
yeah, 10-year anniversary. Yeah, there's stuff. So probably less on property stays. But I am glad
Boo.
we upgraded before they raised the prices.
Yes, we upgraded to Inspire Key before they raised the prices. So
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, we have more Inspire Key. We have Inspire Key now, so we get free parking. So maybe we won't stay on property as much. I'll just drive back and forth.
Well, and the reason I was kind of saying that because I mean the additional cost we already have starting tomorrow will be our first actual Inspire Key use
Mm-hmm.
because everything else was still on the Believe Key.
Mm-hmm.
Our last pass because our pass expired on October 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
But we already have through I think it's January, the first Saturday of January,
Mm-hmm.
5 more stays. I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, counting tomorrow. And 5 more visits to Disney, I should
Mhm.
say. So, and all those days that we would be staying would be blocked on the Believe Key.
Yeah.
So if you look at it like that, it's already paid for the upgrade.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's not even through the
And
full.
I make sure we book a bunch of days that we would have been.
Yeah, every day
blocked
that
in
we're
the
staying
believing-
for
in the belief.
our next 4 to 5 trips are days that we couldn't have gone.
Yeah.
We would have had to use PTO, which I say is money, like go on
Mhm.
a Friday or something, and
Mhm.
or another weekday or a Sunday. And I don't like going on Sundays because I got to go to work the next day. So I'd probably take PTO anyway.
We would take Monday off.
Yeah.
You would take Monday off.
So it's already kind of paid for itself. At least the upgrade part has. Yeah. And I don't know if people think of it like that, because I'm just thinking like the amount of days that we're going is almost the price of the pass.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, I made sure we were booking the day after Thanksgiving,
Yep.
a Saturday in December,
Halloween.
all Saturdays, not all Saturdays, but tomorrow, because we would have been blocked tomorrow. We're blocked Saturdays in October under the Believe Key.
Yeah, and the Believe Key is the second highest one. So
Yeah.
it's like, that means everyone's blocked except for Fire. Yeah. But, yep. I don't even know what point I was trying to make. But
Our upgrade was worth the upgrade.
Yeah, the upgrade is worth it.
We've already paid for our upgrade, basically.
Yeah.
Or the upgrade paid for itself.
No, we literally already paid for it, but we are also
it's paid for itself.
Paying for itself back. Yeah. Because
and that's why Disney doesn't like Magic Key.
I know.
That's why it's not on sale
That's
yet.
why we're undesirable. Unfavorable. Yeah. You should have just said undesirable. That would have been better.
It's true.
Unfavorable is more unique.
Non-profitable. Just say it as it is.
Non-profitable.
Yeah. So that was cool. We did all the 3 mountains. You called it the Manhattan Project. 3 Manhattans and 3 mountains.
That's what I'm calling it. Yeah. So for
the
all you out
Space
there,
Mountain opened back up.
you drink 3 Manhattans, and then you go on the 3 mountains. It'll expand to 4 once Tiana opens up. But Tiana's not officially called a mountain, even though it is a mountain.
Yes, it is a mountain.
Used to be a mountain, Splash Mountain. Now it's Bayou Adventure.
Well, just don't get yourself kicked out like the Club 33 guy.
Yeah.
Slurring and got kicked out of Club 33 for slurring. Not for slurring, but there's more to that story, but whatever.
Yeah, so let us know if you join the Manhattan Project.
Just be careful.
Yeah, I'm recruiting. I'm Oppenheimer. We need we need other people.
That's funny.
All right. What else? I think I was just to finish up that one point. I think it was that when we stay on property, we actually get, because we used to leave earlier.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't like getting all caught up in the fireworks crowd. But now we stack, Lightning Lane, formerly Genie Plus, formerly Fast Pass. More names than Diddy. And then we actually end up closing out the park the more we stay on property.
Yeah.
So even though most regular people probably would close out the park anyway, even if they were staying 10 miles away, we didn't. So that's we're getting more bang for our buck too. So that's how we justify it in our heads anyway. We have these on property stays.
And I can sleep in.
Yeah. It's more fun to sleep in too. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we could sleep in more if we stayed at Marriott, because then we get 4 o'clock checkout.
Oh, that's true. The next day we get
the
to
next
sleep
day.
In.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only downfall of staying on property is you don't get late checkout, or they never give it to you unless maybe if you're a DVC or something. But yeah, you don't get late checkout. At the Marriott, you get until 4 p.m.
That's an upgrade that I'll take.
Yeah.
We'll put you in a regular room, but you get to check out at
You can. You just pay something. 100 more or something.
I'll just get a better room. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I can wake up.
Yeah. I mean, it's 11 o'clock, so it's fine. It's not like we're partying till 2 a.m. or anything.
Dude, yeah, we could though. We could. No. I always wonder the people who go to the Hearthstone Lounge and just drink until they get kicked out. Like they're partying until 2 a.m. They go back to their hotel rooms. And they continue to
1.
party.
I think they open till is it 12 or 1? I forgot. But Downtown Disney opens till 1 a.m.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can drink till then.
Oh yeah.
So I think they just go back to the hotel rooms. But yeah. We still have the in-park giveaway too, $25 gift card. So if you see us tomorrow, Saturday, come grab that card. Come card us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk some HR stuff.
Yeah.
Your favorite stuff. Former Disney cast member Disneyland cast member, is suing after being forced to work with allergens and fired over lupus medical leave. So Serena Walker, 23, disclosed that she has an allergy to cinnamon and had formed lupus. So 2 different health conditions. So then she was assigned to a kitchen serving cinnamon pretzels.
Yeah.
So the suit states that the manager thought she was exaggerating her allergy and told her to either work at that location that day or go home without pay. So she wanted to work. She wanted to get paid. So she worked anyways, wore a mask and gloves, but then developed a breathing problem and hives. Then she went to the nurse, and the Disney nurse examined her and recommended she go home. And then her supervisor, like, do you really need to go home? So that's what the suit alleges. Then the suit also alleges that another boss told coworkers of hers that he didn't believe that she actually had lupus. So she complained to Human Resources about her mistreatment. Shortly after that, she was written up for taking medical absences. So she also alleged retaliation against her for being required to work in a cold environment, which triggered her lupus symptoms. And then, although the supervisors knew her absence was medical related to her lupus, she was suspended after returning from 1 medical leave and then fired in June of 2023.
Yeah. So there's a lot in there. And if an attorney took her case, she might have some points because attorneys typically don't. It costs them money to even look into it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she probably has at least a little bit of documentation, or at least she's aware that some documentation exists that they could get through discovery. So that's what happens when you have a lawsuit, right? But somebody's got to get paid.
Yeah.
So I don't think too many attorneys are going to waste their time, because time is literally money for an attorney, because they work on billing, and even if they do it to where, they get paid out of the settlement, they still they have to win. They have to either get a settlement or at least have enough to where they could win the actual suit if it goes to trial. So as far as her medical conditions and stuff, it's all going to depend on the chronology of this and what was stated. So and this is not just true with medical accommodations. This is true with any type of infraction, whether it's like harassment, discrimination. A lot of people just say, like, they'll try to go to the EEOC and say, I was harassed. It was a hostile work environment, because that's the words that the common people know. They don't actually know that these terms have legal definitions that they go by. So people just think, this is a hostile work environment. Why? Because my boss, doesn't like me, but that doesn't make it legally a hostile work environment. I was sexually harassed. How? Because that guy keeps asking me out on a date. Okay, well, did you tell him to stop? Was there a pattern? Does he have power over you? Was there a quid pro quo? Like, what, there's legal things that make it sexual harassment, and then there's the casual use of the term. And I think a lot of people don't know that. And so a lot of times they say, well, this person said that they had a medical condition. Okay, did she actually inform a supervisor or higher that she had a medical condition? And did she inform them before these things happened?
Yeah.
Right? So you could put me in an area. Let's say that I'm allergic to something, right? And you put me in there, and I get sick, and then I say, "Hey, I got a medical condition that's da 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 da." But if I tell you after that happened, the company's not liable. You see what I mean? Now, if I tell you what should happen is that they say, "Oh, okay, they shouldn't put you in there for a while," and they say, "Can you bring us a doctor's note with what's called work restrictions?" A lot of people mix up the words accommodation and accommodations, and I see they're kind of the same thing, and people just use it. A doctor shouldn't be writing accommodations, because that's telling the company what they have to do. What a doctor, your personal doctor, or workers' comp doctor, if it's a work-related injury, should be writing what's called work restrictions. It's what you are able or unable to do because of your medical condition.
So in this case, the cinnamon thing, the doctor should have been like...
If she actually went to a doctor.
Yeah, if she got a note from a doctor, what she should have done
Well, the first
to
thing
make her case closed, if it was a closed and shut case,
she should have
she should
informed
have
them before she was even put into that environment that she had
Yeah.
a medical condition.
right? But she should have went
And actually,
further.
that is actually on applications.
Yeah.
So it won't ask you straight up. There is HIPAA, so people can't ask you what your condition is.
Right.
And if you follow the DAS stuff, you understand and all that.
Yeah.
But in any job, but they will ask you on most job applications, can you work, if you have an accommodation or with reasonable accommodations, do you have a condition?
Yeah.
Da, 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 are you disabled?
Can't be in cold environments.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
be in whatever.
Right. So if she told them that before then, they should have said, oh, can you get they either shouldn't put her in that's one way. They could just automatically accommodate.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could say, okay, can you get us, work restrictions from your medical provider? Once that happens, and this is like a cinnamon thing, you could do what's called an interactive process. So that's what should happen next once she brings him back. And they should give her a timeline to bring it back. Do you think you can get this within 7 days, 14 days?
But the restriction is not the diagnosis.
Right.
The restriction is don't let her touch cinnamon or let's say peanut. That's the most popular deadly allergy.
What can't she do?
Peanut.
She cannot be in a room or within 30 feet of
peanuts.
Or she cannot be in an enclosed space with peanuts being served or something.
Yeah.
But the doctor will write that out.
Yeah.
Now, that seems to be like an easy enough accommodation for Disney because there's thousands of spots.
Other workers,
to place her. Okay, place her in some other place that doesn't have cinnamon, or place her, in an outside cart area or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's reason by the law, a company has to accommodate within reason. And some people will get terminated, or not terminated, but they say we can't accommodate you because, let me just give an extreme example. I'm a helicopter pilot who's afraid of heights. And you have your therapist says this person cannot be more than 10 feet off the ground. Well, that's not there's no reasonable accommodation that can be given to you from your company if you are a helicopter pilot.
Or if you work in the peanut factory and you apply to work in peanut factory, then you say you have a peanut allergy and the accommodation is you can't work within 300 feet or whatever of peanuts, then that's not a reasonable accommodation.
Now the most common types of things is through the interactive process. So you get the work restriction, like this person is not able to type. Like carpal tunnel is probably the most popular throughout history, right?
Mm-hmm.
This person cannot have keyboard use for more than 2 hours at a time, let's just say, right? So through the interactive process, it's like, okay, well, if you only typed for, an hour, can you then type again in a half hour? And then that person will say yes or no. Like that's what the interactive process is, to get input from both the employer and the employee. That's what's called interactive.
Or you could have like a dictation machine or whatever.
Or they might say yes to that, and which is an easy accommodation. Okay, just take a break, and then and then you could put like self-monitoring. So don't put it on us. If you didn't take the break, it's on you. Or you could get like Dragon Speak. That's real super popular, man. I wish I would have invested in that when it came out because every company that has any type of data entry, keyboard use, that's the most popular accommodation is Dragon Speak. You have to train it. It's a pain in the butt, but it's gotten better since it first came out. Sometimes, there's people who have like bladder issues, or they have like irritable bowel syndrome, and they're just allowed.
Which we're going to talk about in the DAS thing a little bit later.
Yeah, they're allowed extra breaks. So like in California, you get like up to 10, 15, I think it's 15-minute breaks in California. I have so many states, I get them mixed up. But like if you work, a certain amount of time, you get, 15-minute break, then, okay, well, make sure that this person gets 2 breaks, Or they get intermittent breaks whenever they need to. Let's say that, when they use the restroom, it's no more than like a minute each time. Maybe you just let them as many breaks as needed, whatever. And the important thing for the employer, if you are in HR or if you are a manager, is to make sure that when you get the work restrictions, that the doctor writes what are the date range for the work restrictions. This is the most common thing that's forgotten because they might write the work restrictions, what can make something reasonable versus unreasonable is how long do we have to accommodate.
Yeah.
So if you just say, yeah, we can accommodate, and you whatever accommodation you give, if there's no date on it, and then you stop accommodating like a year later, the court's going to be like, you accommodated for a year. What's the problem?
Yeah. Or why'd you stop all
Or
of a sudden?
why'd you stop? You know what I mean?
There's no end date here, so it's like perpetual.
yeah, exactly. So I always make sure that, and if they don't bring a date, to say, hey, can you have your doctor just put a range date? Because if he puts permanent, that might be unreasonable. Because sometimes an accommodation is like working from home, you know, or maybe they need like days off or whatever, da-da-da. Because sometimes to get FMLA, you have to work at the place a year, you know, and then you have to work 1,250 hours, which is basically 6 months. So there's a lot of people who need accommodations within their first year. They're not going to qualify for that. So, but they might still have an accommodation. Their doctor might say, hey, they might need to take time off, you know, here and there. And if it's for like a month, maybe that's reasonable. You know, I need to take an extra day off a week for a month. That's 4 days. But if it's for like 6 months, maybe that's not reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, depending on your business. So that's how things should have gone. The lawsuit's going to depend on that order of operations. Did everyone do what they were supposed to do? And if there was a step missed, who missed it, right? Was it the employee or was it the employer? So if after she got sick, then she starts telling this stuff. And then they said, okay, get, you know, work restrictions from your doctor. And she never did that.
Yeah, she probably never did. Well, I don't know. They probably never asked.
Maybe they never asked.
She did disclose it before that she had an allergy to cinnamon.
Right.
And lupus. And then she was assigned to the kitchen serving cinnamon.
Yeah. So, and if somebody says that, best practice is to not put that person there.
She even told him that day, and he said, well, do it or go home without pay.
That gets a little...
So he gave her a choice, I guess?
Yeah, but it's also an adverse action because you're kind of suspending her.
Yeah.
So...
taking away her shift if she doesn't do it.
Yeah, because she's losing money. So she... And I always tell people to be very careful with sending people home. Yeah. Especially hourly people.
Yeah.
Because once they lose $1, they technically have legal damages.
Yeah.
So you better be 100% right to send them home. That's why when I send people home, I usually just administratively, we'll send you home with pay, but you need to get this. And that way you don't have legal damages because you're getting paid, but you have a time limit in order to do whatever you need to do, right? And if they don't do it, we have documentation that they didn't do it, and you have documentation who told them to do it, they didn't do it, and then we can start taking, if we need to take punitive action, corrective action, we can do that. But yeah, as soon as he told her, you don't tell somebody I'm allergic to peanuts and then send them to work with peanuts, you know. But at the same time, the employer is kind of put in a bind because people make up stuff all the time, you know, and sometimes people misdiagnose themselves. So sometimes you might think, I mean, how many friends do you have that just say, you know, I think I have this, and that's why I get dizzy when this happens, right?
That's why they ask for the doctor's thing.
Right. That's what you're supposed to ask for the doctor's thing. If we just believed everyone, one, it might not be true. Two, you could they could misdiagnose themselves. They have another condition, and you just made it worse. You know, you could say, okay, maybe we just don't put you in the peanuts thing. She's like, yeah, but maybe there's another substance.
Yeah, we won't put you in cinnamon. We'll put you at peanuts.
Right.
And that's a deadly allergy.
Yeah, that's actually causing you to be sick. You know, like sometimes people say, oh, I have whiplash. And it was actually, and so I know a company that did all this stuff for them, got them a chair and all this stuff. But it was actually a new, they had one because they had gotten in a car accident. Oh, I got whiplash, so I just need this stuff. They spent they got them like a $500 chair. They got them all this stuff, special keyboard, sit and stand desk and all this stuff. But what really was, it was a degenerative disc. She did get in a car accident, but it wasn't like just typical whiplash. And that chair that they spent all this money on made the disc degenerate faster. Oh. So now this person is immobile.
Yeah. now it's worse.
And they don't have a doctor's note stating what she and they don't have a doctor's note stating what she actually needed or not, because she never went to the doctor. They just believed her. And it wasn't that she was lying. She thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
But let the doctor steer the ship. I think that's the lesson for this. If you want to, if you just take nothing else away from this, let the doctor, then it's on the doctor. Hey, we got a medical note. Doctor said this, and we said yes or no to it. It was reasonable or it's not. And that's what we'll find out in the lawsuit. I'll be, as an HR nerd, I'll be following the lawsuit. So.
Well, yeah. Follow the lawsuit. On the related matter, kind of, is like we were curious about Universal's, quote, DOS. They called it something else.
Yeah,
and I was like, it's just for purposes of,
Because I was always asking, it's like people are mad about DOS, but what are we comparing it to? And that's what I always ask a question. I'm like, okay, DOS sucks compared to what though?
Yeah.
I always want to know what's the benchmark.
Yeah.
So
it was.
And to me, they changed it like 3 times at Universal. Like
right. What they had was actually, because you say to get a doctor's note. What they had is actually before was pretty good, solid in the sense that people had to register for this card, and the card you upload a doctor's note or a doctor saying, hey, this person
Yeah, but they outsourced it though.
Yeah, it's to a third party.
Yeah. So it wasn't like Universal was getting your medical information. It was
somebody else getting your medical information. I'm more like, okay, I know there's HIPAA, I know there's all that stuff, but if I'm more comfortable saying, look, I have IBS, this is what I need, then okay, case closed. But because Disney's not allowed to hear your diagnosis, they don't want to hear it. Like, we don't want to hear your diagnosis because it's a HIPAA violation. Just tell us what you need.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, IBS at least is something you can say where it's like, look, I'm going to poop in your line. Like that. And so it's like, so anyways.
But here's the rub, and this is why I push back on that. As a person in HR, I don't want to know your diagnosis either. They still send in notes with diagnosis, but you have to understand, it's not because I personally don't want to hear it. That's not the reason. I don't want to hear it.
It violates the law.
Well, it doesn't violate. You're allowed to disclose your own diagnosis. The reason is it makes us more liable for discrimination, because then it's like, I told them I was this, and they denied me.
That's why the Universal thing worked before, because you upload your diagnosis by your doctor to a third-party thing, and you get this card. It's like a handicap placard when you register for a handicap placard with the DMV. You get this card. Once you get that card, you bring it to Universal. You're like, hi, I have this card. And then you get the front of the line thing. Automatically, because you have that card because you registered. That's what it used to be. So I was like, okay, that's clear cut. You don't have to argue with a cast member. You don't have to do anything. It's like, I have this card. Whoop, there you go. But now Universal changed it where you don't have to. It's voluntary. Now they're doing what Disney does. Just go to an employee, or they don't call them cast members. Go to a Universal staff. Tell them what accommodations you need, and they'll determine. It's like, no, screw that. I'm getting the card. Because the card's voluntary now.
But the card doesn't guarantee it either.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, okay, but I'd rather just have the card so I don't have to argue with the cast member.
You're probably more likely to get it, but they don't have to.
Right.
And, again, they're following Disney not because they're trying to outdo Disney. It's because, oh, wait a minute, we don't have to pay for this third-party thing. Okay, we'll just let our cast members decide.
Yeah.
Which is now going to open them up to all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So.
Whereas but that's voluntary. The card is voluntary now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I'm always for pay for somebody else to do it here. Yeah. Don't give it to the cast member who is not trained for this. So, yeah.
Yeah, and they get some training, and Disney employees get some training. But the thing is they're not disability. It's not like they were trained like 6 months in ADA law. You know what I mean? Or OSHA or any of that stuff. They're trained on basically really basic things that you can train somebody in a week. Yeah.
I mean, we kind of argued about that. Like, how do you, the lady with IBS, how do you tell the cast members, like, don't tell me your diagnosis? all right, then what do you tell her?
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna poop in my pants.
They
like,
ask
I don't
you
know
like
what to tell.
yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what they will say. They don't tell me your diagnosis. They say I can't stand in line because I need frequent bathroom breaks. That's what they're looking for.
I guess the people need to be trained how to interview.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not the cast member needs to be trained. The people who needs accommodation needs to be trained now on how to pass the interview.
How to pass the Well, I mean, that's any interview. You know, it's a skill, unfortunately.
Yeah, because everybody will go in there with their diagnosis because they're normal people.
But I think if they just came out and said, look, you know, this pass is for people who are neurodivergent.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop. That's what the pass is for. And even if it wasn't previously for that, that's what it is now. Hate us, love us. You know what I mean? It's like at least that would end the controversy.
That would end everything, yeah.
And then people could still protest and be mad, saying it should be for other things. Mm-hmm. That's their right to do.
Because I used to get it, now I don't get it anymore because of this new rule.
Right.
Well, okay.
Okay, well. But that's a different argument, right?
Right, that's a different argument.
It's not like Disney doesn't know what they're doing. It's like, no, we know what we're doing. I just don't like what you're doing. That's a different
You're
debate.
just taking away what I used to have. Like you said, it's harder to give it and take it away.
It's harder to take it away than to give it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but again, I mean, the way I look at it is, it's like
I don't think the IBS lady got her DOS because it wasn't a
well, the problem that they bring on themselves is that some IBS people would get it and some don't. So people who have the same issue aren't going to be treated equally.
Yeah, because it's not a developmental disability, so it doesn't fall under the DOS thing. So that's why they're kind of stuck because
they're kind of painting
themselves
into a corner.
Yeah, they really do need bathroom breaks and can't stand in line, but they don't fall under the developmental disability definition.
But the funny, not the funny thing, I guess, but the ironic thing is that developmental disabilities can manifest in so many different ways that, maybe somebody who's neurodivergent, developmentally delayed, or whatever term you want to use, could have to take frequent bathroom breaks as well.
Yeah.
So even somebody with diagnosis would technically fall under your guidelines could be denied.
True.
You see, so that's where they're kind of, meh. But they don't want to know your diagnosis, so that makes it hard. But at the same time, it's like, all right, it depends on who interviews best, you know. So it's.
I mean, if anything, I would think the IBS person does need to skip the line.
And I'm wondering why, and I always wonder why companies do these things in the first place, because it's always a corporate reason, right? To even have a DOS system.
Yeah.
Was it because that was keeping OSHA off their backs? Cal OSHA is even worse than federal OSHA. So, because California has their own OSHA. Was it because they thought it was just going to bring in more people and make more money if people could bring people who had disabilities, family members and stuff? You know, what was the initial reasoning? Because it's never to be nice. It's never because we're just good. It's not like Inside and Out. I'm a good person.
No.
You know.
Yeah, because
which we'll be talking about in a spoiler.
Yes.
At the end of the episode.
Because their alternative is, it's not like we're not accommodating you. We're giving you the accommodation. We're letting you sit in a wheelchair and go in or return later.
Yeah.
You just don't want to take our accommodation. You want this accommodation and not that one. So they're saying that it's not like you don't have options. They're OSHA compliant because a wheelchair will fit in the lines.
Some lines.
But, okay, the wheelchair, let's say with the IBS person, okay, well, I don't need a wheelchair.
Right.
I can walk on my own.
Yeah.
I just need frequent bathroom breaks. Okay, then just go to each cast member at each ride and ask for a return time.
Yeah, I think that it just wasn't. I think, and this is the problem with a lot of just corporate thinking, is that some really brilliant, even some of the best corporations who have good rollout strategies, they don't think they need a rollout strategy for rolling something back.
Yeah.
They just stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they're thinking about a new revenue stream or increased profits, they'll bring in consultants. They'll bring in all these people. They'll pay $1 million, and everybody gets PowerPoint trainings, and there's like this whole phased approach to how to roll something out because it's going to be huge, and we're going to make all this money, da da da. When we take something away, we just click a button and say
It's
stop.
more like when you take something away, is it compliant with applicable law? Yes? Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
They don't hear about the marketing, like the consequences of people complaining, the backlash, the
But
bad
it's not even
reviews.
that. They don't even think that because it's not taking something away doesn't bring in more revenue. So they don't give it to the same teams.
Yeah.
They just say, okay,
They
we'll
just give it
stop
to
it.
compliance.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Is it legal or not? Yeah. But there's a lot of things that are legal to like technically not have that can still get you. That doesn't mean the way you do it is legal.
Yeah.
So they probably.
Technically, whatever they're doing now is not violating any law.
Well,
It's just unfair.
you don't know yet because it hasn't been enough time for a class to develop to where you can prove unequal treatment.
Hmm.
You know, so if I can prove that, like, hey, you know, da 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 da, or let's say that all the people with IBS and the ones who, you know, 63% of them happen to be African American women, you're screwed. That was that Disney's intention?
No.
But the numbers will screw you. And that's why you need to have a phased approach to roll things out. You need to have a phased approach to roll things back.
Or someone to get injured
No, you
while
need-
in line.
Well,
Like you said.
no,
somebody
you don't want
needs
that
to
to
just
happen.
poop in
If
line.
you had a
No,
phased
for them to
approach,
change.
no, I'm saying before you make the change, you need to have when you implement something, you need to have a phased, strategic, consulted approach to do it, even if it takes a year, whatever, which they do. Every company does. But when you take something away, you need to do that in reverse and have the same phased approach and take the time and effort and money of how we're going to take
Yeah.
something away. I think that's the lesson here. So, all right,
Well,
what's next?
on that note, there's Thunderbolt trailers, but maybe we'll talk about.
You can talk
Okay.
about Thunderbolt in dot points if you want.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
So, as we said earlier, we did in-room dining at Disneyland Hotel.
Yep.
Or room service. Because we wanted to stay in the upgraded room as long as we can.
Yeah, especially during fireworks.
And
We wanted
during
to
fireworks.
We wanted to take advantage of that.
And it was hot, so we took a nap. So, yeah. So we weren't that hungry, so I just got the dry rub crispy wings, which is like buffalo wings, but it's dry rub. And
Right.
I don't like it when it's too saucy, so that was perfect. And then you got the baby back ribs with Coca-Cola barbecue glaze and a side of rice and bok choy.
Yeah, and it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
huge portion, and I guess it was a good portion though. But
Yeah.
I guess I'm so used to because you've seen like the beef ribs I buy
Yeah.
in San Diego,
And we
you
always
know,
get like a full rack of ribs.
Yeah.
This was only like a half a rack, or maybe like 4 ribs.
yeah, it was small. You know, it
Yeah.
was like a quarter rack or whatever. But it was still a lot because we don't eat a lot.
Yeah.
That much. We eat more snack. We snack more now.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say both were good.
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Is it worth in-room dining prices? No.
No.
But actually, the prices were basically because of the drinks. Then because we did look at the
Yeah,
bill.
we got 4 Manhattans, and it was cool because the Manhattans.
Not four Manhattans each.
No, 4 total, so 2 each. And it was cool because it came in the shaker, came in 4 mini shakers,
Mm-hmm.
and then our I forgot his name, but the cast member who brought our food wheeled it in, and he's like, "Oh, these are your 4 Manhattans. I haven't poured them out yet, but if you want me to, I can pour them out for you now." And then we're like, "Okay," and then he like shook the thing and
He poured
poured it
2
into
out,
a glass.
right?
Yeah, poured 2 out and left 2 there for us to pour ourselves later. So he poured it out, shook it, poured it out. And Brian was in bed, and he came over, and you were about to get up to get the glass. He said, "Oh no, stay right there. I'll bring it to you." So we felt fancy. So
Yeah, I was fully clothed. I mean, I wasn't in bed. You make it sound like I'm like snoozing. I was on top of the bed.
So he brought it to you, and then it was cool. And then, yeah, he left the stuff there. and we got tangerines, even though he said they were oranges. He's like,
Because this used to be an orange grove, so here's your tangerines. No,
no, here's your oranges.
I'm like,
And I'm like
tangerine.
thinking, oh, those are tangerines. But anyway, it's fine. It's cool.
That's funny. Though.
I get what he's. I get the
I thought
theme.
maybe he was making a dry joke.
Oh no! But then there was a card that says, "Did you know Disneyland was built on orange groves?"
Oh, that's
and then
hilarious.
here's your oranges, and it's like, no, these are tangerines.
Does
They're-
anyone know if
they're
tangerines are
cuties.
also grown in orange groves? I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
They were cuties.
or are tangerines a part of the orange family? And
Maybe that's like
Mhm.
lemon and lime.
yeah,
So if he said
so you could still
lemon
be
and it was
technically
a
correct.
lime, it's okay. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I don't know.
but it's fine. I get the theme. I get
yeah,
the
Tracy
idea.
gets really irritated with.
No,
that
I wasn't
checking.
irritated. I was just more like, that's funny. But I get it. It's like calling me Chinese.
No, it's not. That's totally different.
I was being sarcastic. It's like I don't mind. It's two totally different things, but it's fine. I get the idea.
Okay. But yeah, the food was good.
I thought the food was good.
And a lot of people said, well, Brian, if you only had 4 Manhattans, that's 2 each. How do you do the Manhattan Project? It's because we stopped at Naples before we went back into the park.
Oh, and we
That
had
was our-
3 total.
So we
One
had
for
3.
each mountain.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Because to walk from Disneyland Hotel to... Because the monorail... Oh, here's another thing. We thought we'd be cool, and after watching fireworks, we'd take the monorail to Tomorrowland so that we could skip the fireworks crowd. Like, to go in to Disneyland. But it says that the monorail is closed an hour before and after fireworks.
Yeah,
And during fireworks.
like 45 minutes after fireworks.
Yeah. So we're like, all right, we'll just walk through downtown Disney.
And
And so
Naples
that's
was
when we
there.
stopped at Naples.
Yeah, we had our 3rd piece of the Manhattan Project. The uranium. No. But yeah, I guess I would score the meal itself just on the food. Probably 7 out of 10.
I give it an 8. It was good. It was tasty.
That was tasty.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But I mean, I guess I'm scoring it compared to all barbecue that I've had. And I'm, so I'm just like,
This is more like an Asian style.
yeah.
That's why they had fried rice and bok choy.
But even Korean barbecue, I'd be like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
Yeah. I'd say 7. 7's still good.
Yeah,
So,
I say 8.
it's like I tell people on the performance reviews. Meeting expectations is good. All right.
All right, so we saw the Thunderbolts trailer came out, and it was so funny. It was funny.
You thought it was funny?
The Red Guardian is so funny.
Well, no, he is funny.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Hop-
I'll call DoorDash headquarters. I said, leave it at the door.
yeah.
but he's funny.
Him and Florence Pugh are going to probably steal the movie.
Yeah.
It's
But I don't know. I saw an Easter egg that nobody else saw, but New Rockstar saw it, that Bob, played by Lewis Pullman, Bill Pullman's son, is Bob in the Thunderbolts. But Lewis Pullman also played a character named Bob in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Top Gun Maverick is MCU canon. That's the same Bob.
yeah.
But anyways.
No. That's the
But
name.
even the New Rockstars
That's the name
said
of
it.
the Sentry. His name is actually Bob in Marvel Comics. So
So it's like, hey, that's Lewis Pullman, Bob, the other Bob. But yes. But yeah, it looks interesting.
yeah, it's definitely more of your down to earth Winter Soldier feel spies. People,
Yeah.
The only difference would be, I guess, it's going to be kind of like the Captain America: Brave New World in the sense that most everyone's going to be kind of like a down to earth,
Yeah.
like maybe super soldier limit type
Mhm.
powers, with one super powerful person like Red Hulk. Where this is going to be down to earth spies, type power,
Yeah.
one super soldier with the Sentry, which is super. And if they keep to the comics, the Sentry is probably, as far as Earthborn superheroes, actual heroes, is probably the most powerful. He is basically their version of Superman, but he has more. He can do more things than Superman. Yeah, he is like in the comics, he destroyed Asgard
Oh,
by
wow.
himself.
I'm just heartbroken that Bucky appears to be the Winter Soldier again, and he was cured in Wakanda. So I hope Val didn't make him become the super soldier again. Like, why
The Winter
do
Soldier.
that or the Winter Soldier again? Like, do that to his mind. Because he was free of that.
It could be.
'Cause
And that would be something she would do.
Yeah, but that's so sad.
Yeah.
He was so happy to be rid of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Ugh,
and also
makes me hate Val.
he's wearing a congressional pin.
They need
So
to
he
kill
ran
Val.
he ran for Congress.
I know.
And won,
He's
apparently.
like, yeah.
So he's in Congress. So
But he was shooting with that hand, and in Falcon and Winter Soldier, he
yeah.
shot with the other
Which
hand.
was it? New Rockstars who pointed that out?
Yeah.
Or Screen Crush? I don't
I think it was
remember.
both.
Maybe
I think it
both.
was New Rockstars.
Yeah, we like both. But yeah, when he's just regular Bucky, he shoots with I think
The
his
right
his
hand.
right hand, and Winter Soldier shoots with the mechanical
Yeah.
left
And
hand.
in the trailer, he was shooting
With
with
his
his
left
hand.
hand.
So that's why I'm like, oh no, did she read those words to him and made him weird again?
Yeah, that would be problematic. But the biggest question is,
Kill Val.
how do you get the arm back from?
How did he get
From
the arm
Rocket.
back from Rocket? Because Val made it.
I'm thinking.
Because she stole the vibranium from Wakanda, and she made his arm.
But I think doesn't Captain America come out first? I believe Captain
Oh, yeah,
America
it
comes
does.
out first. So in Captain America, I believe, and this is just the theory that's going on, they're getting adamantium, which is Wolverine's claws, because now Disney has the rights to that. And apparently, I think they were getting adamantium from Tiamat, who was the celestial that's frozen in the
Oh,
ocean.
yeah.
So my theory is that movie comes out first. They get adamantium. They use adamantium to replace his
Replace
arm.
his arm.
And so he gets a new arm made
So
by
Rocket still has his other arm.
that would make sense.
And then in the Thunderbolts, Rocket will give him back his old arm, and then he's cured again. I don't know, whatever.
Or because my thing is, like, if they made a new arm for him, that arm is neurological because he controls it with like a regular
Yeah.
arm. So if it's hooked to his entire nervous system and brain,
Yeah.
that's how you could control
She
him.
ruined his mind again.
Yeah. With
Lame.
you don't like Val?
No, I don't like Val.
Oh.
Kill Val.
What was her name in Seinfeld? I forget.
Oh, yeah, she was in Seinfeld. I
No,
forgot.
I forget her name. It's one of those names that's on the tip of your tongue, and then you just want to say it all of a sudden, and you just don't remember
Her
it,
real
but-
name?
No, the character.
I don't watch Seinfeld. so I don't
Murray
know.
Dreyfus is her name,
Yeah.
but I forget. But she does that. She has the dance, that weird dance.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
can't
yeah.
dance. I want to see her do that as Val. If she does that, that would be a super deep cut. Not everyone knows it, but it'd be hilarious.
Was that Hobbit guy in there? In the Thunderbolts?
Her husband, her
is
ex-husband.
back?
I don't know.
Ross, the other Ross.
I don't think they showed him.
He-
If they did, I missed
Oh,
him.
no, he was in, what's it called?
Hmm.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
The bad one. The one everyone wants to forget. What a waste. They put him in that one. I like him.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So that was the trailer. Go watch it. It looks pretty good. The other big news is that we got today is Paint the Night is returning. So Disneyland, yay!
Listen to everyone. Everyone's happy.
Disneyland posted a teaser, which means that it is coming back and probably next year, 2025.
That's our favorite parade.
Yep.
Well,
It's everybody's favorite parade
Yeah. It's my favorite parade of all time.
Yeah.
Disney parade.
because it's in DCA too.
That's true. Yeah, we had like we
And you
figured
can
out
see
the
it from
perk.
Sonoma Terrace, but now that everybody
Knows about it.
Well, I like Sonoma is pretty popular now because it's kind of hard for us to find a seat there now. But
Yeah.
everyone will be packed there, and then you know how they'll do the dessert party thing, so the half of Sonoma Terrace is going to be closed.
I think we're still going to be able to find a seat because we're inspired now. But the logic behind that is that most people aren't inspired. So it's inspire people sharing the park on block days with tourists. Tourists don't know about Sonoma Terrace.
You'd be surprised at how many Inspire people there are. More to fill up Sonoma.
But I'm saying it's like a pyramid. So
Yeah.
it's like income. Like it goes. The more people are at the bottom, not at the top.
And there's less shows because you have to wait for it to get dark
Yeah.
for Paint the Night. It's kind of like the electrical
So I'm
parade.
saying that when we're going to know that Paint the Night's coming around we're going to get there. Most people will probably just end up there. They're going to be people from out of town on block
that's
days.
True.
On normal Saturdays, yeah, it's going to be everybody. But yeah, we're going to be able to sneak a few.
Let's see.
We have the advantage. We have the high ground to watch Paint the Night.
And then other Magic Key perk is that, so Tiana's Bayou is opening November 15th. Of course, it's going to be virtual queue. But Magic Key holders get to preview it on selected days from October 21st to November 12th. It's only selected days, so go on the Magic Key Instagram to see what dates there are. They are. Well, it's not going to be Halloween Day when we're there. So, oh well.
What days?
The days are the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 25, 26, 27, 29 in October. And in November, it's 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. It's just select days, random.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's random, but
That's
it's
not
fine.
random,
I mean, if it's virtual queue, we'll go on it when we go on it, you know?
Well, you also want to make sure you're dry.
Yeah.
Because you're going to want to. So it's probably going to be.
Technically, we can go on the other days that we're on property that's not Magic Key preview,
Yeah.
like in
It is what it
December or
is.
something.
It'd be cool.
So that's it.
Alrighty. So that was Dot Points Disney. Now we are going to do a spoiler review of Inside Out 2. And you can cut out with the chimes, but just remember, we always do a small giveaway with each one of our spoiler reviews. So if you don't want to be spoiled, cut out on 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Even this came out on Disney Plus already, so I'm hoping, I'm thinking a lot of people
I've seen it.
have seen it and
Yeah.
are listening.
Yeah, and I think we're going to try to maybe only do the reviews, unless it's a movie I'm super excited about. Like we'll maybe do an early review. But for most movies, we'll wait till they're on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, like Deadpool and Wolverine, we were excited about, so we already did that.
Yeah. And actually, that giveaway ends tomorrow, I
Yeah.
think. So get your stuff in. Listen to that episode.
Mhm.
So Inside Out 2, obviously, you know, a new classic because it's one of the newer franchises. Emotional whirlwind at DCA is pretty cool. We liked the first one.
Yep.
And it still continues with Riley. And we liked her. She's why we want to adopt a girl. She's really cool.
If a girl could be like her, I'll adopt her.
If a girl could be like you mean a moody teenager now that she's
No, not the Mooney teacher part.
Yeah, it's really cool. I could see why they had like this meme where like all the kids are like laughing and stuff, and then all the parents are crying.
Yeah. Now I understand the meme.
Yeah. So if you're a parent and you probably went through this with your kids, you would totally understand what the movie's about. So it's one, you know, and Pixar does a very good job of making things for all ages.
Yeah.
So so was it as good as the first one? No, but I think it's comparable. I think the first one's just better because it was just a new concept. But this one expanded on that concept. They kept a lot of the same characters, and you know,
added some new ones.
added some new ones. Yeah, new emotions and stuff. So yeah, I really liked it. I think you just thought it was okay.
Yeah. I don't, you know, the reason why I watch old movies and reruns is because I don't want to stress out during a movie. So I already know what happened. But that anxiety dude was like stressing me out the whole time.
I think it was a girl, was it?
Or a guy, I don't know. That anxiety thing was like so annoying. It's like, oh my gosh. But even before watching the movie, I already had my bias against it because I thought,
Why?
I was saying, I know this is unpopular opinion, but I was like, why do kids get to watch movies like Inside Out where they get to deal with their feelings and
That's
emotions?
Ethan Hawke's daughter that played Anxiety?
Oh, really?
Maya Hawke?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, she then. Maya Hawke. Stranger Things.
Just looked it up. That's all.
that I was like, wait a minute, that's not fair. Why do kids right now get to watch cool, funny movies like Inside Out, where you can deal with your feelings, happy, sense of me?
Yeah.
I had to watch Bambi's mom get shot. Mufasa died. Like,
Oh, that's
Simba,
the meme you saw.
yeah, Simba watching, like, I saw that meme, I'm like, oh yeah, what is this? And like Simba seeing like his uncle kill his dad and all this stuff.
So, and then I push back on that, saying that kids today have so much access to YouTube and Twitch and all these other things that our parents think they're protecting their kids from, but the kids are more tech savvy than the parents. I mean, there's literally pornography on Twitch sometimes, right? And it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a gaming channel for kids.
Right.
And there's, kids can get into like
Chat rooms and
chat
stuff.
room, all kinds of stuff, and I don't even want to mention them because we're a family-friendly podcast, but everyone knows. I don't know I think kids maybe need more emotionally based content than we did, because our stuff was like, oh, that's so sad. They're actually seeing real life stuff, police shootings and, things that there's stuff on YouTube that disturb me. And they have the little, disclaimers like,
or parental control or
well,
whatever.
no, it's not even parental control. It's just like, if this video to see is disturbing, are you sure you want to proceed? Well, if I'm a kid, I'm gonna hit yes. You know what I mean? I even as an adult, I'm gonna hit yes, probably. I mean, it's like, now you really make me want to see it. It's not like gatekeeping keeps kids away.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking coming out with movies like Inside Out, things that are family friendly, but at the same time are addressing what's going on in someone's head. Maybe they needed it more than we did.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're dealing with. They could be dealing with more stuff.
They're
I think
dealing with
every
more
generation
stuff.
thinks that they had it harder, and I think that.
I know. I sound like a boomer.
Yeah, but I mean, I think people have. Usually, it's physically harder.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's emotionally harder. Like, yes, our grandparents probably worked on farms and mines, and fields and stuff, and that was physically harder. But
And had to mail.
But as far as having a
faxes.
sense of community, as far as having like people support you, they might have had it better. I don't know. It depends. Depends on
But
who you
yeah,
are.
I
where
thought
you
the movie
lived.
was okay. I just thought anxiety was so annoying.
Anxiety is supposed to give you anxiety, and that's what you got. So, mission accomplished.
So annoying.
That's what anxiety is.
Trying to rip that thing to shreds.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, I'm diagnosed with anxiety. So to me, I was like, I feel represented. I feel seen. And that's the cool thing about anxiety. It's like, I always say, like, everything that we have that we can, and this is the Brian quote that I had to give someone this week, that I coined. I didn't actually get this. A lot of quotes I get from famous people, but this is the one I made up during social work. There's no such thing as weakness. There's only untimely strengths. And even anxiety, if you look, even if you're diagnosed with, anxiety, there are things that make you very strategic in your thinking. You're always planning
anxiety
ahead.
in the movie is like that. Yeah.
Who plans our vacations? Who plans our budgets in the family?
You.
Yeah. Who plans
Because of your anxiety.
who plans who gets what for Christmas, and how we, who's going to be offended if we give this to that or that to that?
Mm-hmm.
My anxiety might be triggered by that, but we're ahead of the game on a lot of areas because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just like, like Joy, things will take care of themselves. Everything will be fine.
Let's just be positive, and
Yeah.
it's all gonna work out.
Yeah, whatever.
So yes, she does need both.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like fear would have
But
taken that place of anxiety.
But fear is, again, and then they kind of did this correctly in a way, and they explained it, is that fear is things that you can see. Anxiety is things that you imagine. You can't see them, right?
Yeah.
There's things that you're thinking about. You're thinking about the future. You can't see the future. It's not physically here yet. So a child is afraid of dogs and afraid of spiders and afraid of, so when when you're a kid, you have fear. You don't really have anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if a child has anxiety, that child's growing up too fast. They probably have trauma, right? And I'm not even really joking about that, right? If you're 8 years old and you have anxiety, that's a problem, right? And it's usually a common way is when kids, like their parents get divorced and they don't know, you know, what's going to happen in the future and stuff like that. I mean, so I'm not saying that it's impossible for kids to have anxiety. They do, but it's usually because something didn't go as planned. Something happened. Whereas all kids have fear. And so she gets older, and now you start thinking about things that could happen.
You can't see. Yeah.
Yeah. You start trying to forecast things to protect yourself and not just, you know, and adults have anxiety, right? They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about school. They're worried about the economy. They're worried about their health. Kids, 8-year-olds don't think about that stuff.
And teenagers do because they worry about their social life.
Right.
You know, like, is this person going to like me tomorrow? Am I going to have friends?
Which is what we saw in the movie.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the beginning of that. And so I thought that was appropriate to like, oh, what would somebody who just had reached puberty, what would their new emotions be? And they can do a 3. What's cool because you're
an adult, right?
Yeah, now you're gonna, and they already they showed nostalgia, and they're like, get back in the closet, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, because it still came out because you still have nostalgia as a teenager.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't have a lot to reminisce on. So it's like, okay, that was cool, but go back. We don't need you yet. You know? But yet, old people, all they have is nostalgia.
Yeah.
Nostalgia's out full time. Nostalgia is like their joy, right? They had full control of the console.
I must be old because I'm always nostalgic.
Yeah, listening to your 90s hip hop.
That I can't listen to anymore because everyone's on the list. That's why I switched to K-pop.
Oh man, yeah, it's funny, but
yeah.
But I thought it was a really good movie because I thought it was both on the actual movie and the production. It moved really quickly, even though it was like an hour and 40 minutes or something. It still moved really quickly, but at the same time, it was long but moved quickly, so it didn't feel long, and there was no downtime to where I was bored. So they still kept it for like a kid could follow along and not get antsy. You know, they're still engaged, and I was engaged. And it had a good payoff. And even though we kind of knew, you know, with the tone of the movie and the franchise, we knew things are going to end up okay. I was still invested in it. And that's hard to do when you know it's going to have a pretty happy ending and still be invested. So, yeah. So I'd probably give it a 8.5 out of 10. What would you say?
7 out of 10.
Okay, that's good.
That's not bad.
Good.
But
Meeting expectations is good.
yeah, meeting expectations.
All right. So, yeah, that was kind of a quick review, but we wanted to do it because we think it's an important movie. It's an important part of Pixar, important part of Disney. And if you guys haven't seen it, I encourage you to see it. And if you have kids, you know, it's fun to watch with kids, so it'd be good for kids. So for the giveaway, and I always forget like what day we should do this on, but we'll probably end this a week before our main giveaway, so November 2nd. And we are giving away, and we haven't posted it yet, but we're giving away a Funko Pop of the emotion Embarrassment. And
he's like the MVP.
He's the MVP of the movie, so you got to watch it and you'll see. But yeah, he's cool. Doesn't say a lot, but he's cool. He's cool
because he's embarrassed.
He's embarrassed. Yeah.
They should call him shy, not embarrassed.
Yeah, but
I mean, but
I think it's different.
Yeah,
because shy just means you don't want to engage, but embarrassed means it's almost like you're ashamed of what you did. You know, it's
yeah.
But all you have to do, and I'm going to make this super easy. Direct message us the answer to this question: who's your favorite emotion in Inside Out, the franchise? So you got a lot to choose from now. If you saw both movies, and if you want to tell us why, you know, or or if you want to say which emotion best describes you.
Yeah.
That's fun too.
I don't understand the Inui.
Yeah.
The French one.
Yeah, it's basically like
not bothered by anything.
Yeah, but it's almost fake. It's kind of like, when kids are like too cool, too bored to like be engaged with their parents. Their parents don't want to do silly things, and the kids just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
That's when he released sarcasm. That was probably the best part of the movie. The sarcasm.
Oh, that's the emotion that released it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like
when I went to the Pixar thing on the second floor of the Pixar hotel.
Yeah, you didn't know who that was.
I read it, so I got to go back and read. It explains it in that exhibit.
Yeah.
What Inui.
Yeah, like all your kids that think they're just too cool to hang with their parents and stuff. When you get older.
Yeah, the kids that are too cool to go to Disney.
But it's not real though. It's like they still have those emotions.
Yeah, they just don't want to show.
But that plus embarrassment, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not interest. Non-interest, I guess, would be the best description of it. But faking non-interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. What's your favorite emotion, or what emotion best describes you? Just direct message us that answer to Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. For every entry, every medium you use, you get an additional entry. Must be 18 years or older. And this ends on, did I say the 2nd? I think I said the 2nd. Yeah.
November 2nd?
November 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. And you could win a Funko Pop of embarrassment. All right. That is it for us today. Next time, we'll talk to you about our trip that we're going to go on tomorrow. Remember, we still have an in-park giveaway of the $25 Disney gift card. And
we have some swag, Halloween swag.
Oh, yeah. We're making new swag bags that you can get.
With candy for Halloween.
So even if you miss, if somebody gets the gift card before you, we still may have a swag bag for you.
Yeah. Well, we're just giving that to random people who are nice. Yeah. Instead of people who come up to us.
Just cool people.
Yeah. Like this one time, this kid said he liked my ears, but I didn't have anything with me, and I felt bad.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Excuse me, miss, I like your ears." I was like, "Oh."
You felt sadness.
Well, I had stuff, but my stuff was spilling out of my backpack, so I didn't want to, and we were. It was a haunted mansion
then
before.
You felt embarrassment.
No, I was anxious because it was before going in the anxiety because it was right before going into the haunted mansion elevator.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh man, okay, kid, thanks, kid." But then later on, I was like, "Oh man, I should have given that kid." Yeah. No regret. I don't know if that's an emotion. I felt regret.
That's when she turns 20.
Yeah. I felt regret that I didn't give the kid some swag because you.
I should have picked a different major. Why did I take out all those student loans?
Yeah.
This franchise could go on for years.
I know. Should have been an engineer. Why did I go to law school?
All right. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.